come onto your half dome for a calf stretch. Just make sure that you're bringing your weight back into your heels. Your ribs are down and your feet are both pointing forwards. Allow your abdomen to relax and release. And if you want to, you can bring your foot that's on the ground a little bit further forward. Change feet. Remembering to think about your posture as you're on the second foot. Weight back in your heels, feet pointing forwards. Release your knees. And if you need to come down, if we're holding it for too long, that's fine. Just to come down and have a rest. And change feet. And just see if we're doing it a second time, whether it's a little bit easier, or whether you can bring your foot further forwards, or whether you're just happy to stay in the same place. And swap feet again. And remember, feet pointing forwards. Weight behind in your heels. Allow your ribs to come in line with your pelvis. And allow your abdomen to release and relax. And swap feet. How are you feeling now? Is where you're feeling the stretch changed at all? And one more time, change over feet. Remember to bring that weight back. Feet pointing forwards. Okay, now moving on to our double calf stretch. Make sure both feet are pointing forward, and it's important to hinge from the hips. So you've got that nice straight back, your coccyx up towards the sky. It's important here to make sure that your ribs aren't coming out of alignment. It's easy for them to drop even further forward, so you might need to bring your ribs back so that they're in line with your pelvis. Release your abdomen here. Lovely. Let's come up for top of the foot stretch. So bringing your right foot back. And this time the weight's in your standing foot. So you don't have all the weight in the foot that you're stretching. If you need to hold on to something to balance, that's fine. And remembering the further forward your foot comes is the less stretch. And change feet. Just be curious and notice the difference between both feet. Make sure that heel is not winging out to the side, that it's in line with the rest of your leg. How's your stomach? Make sure it's relaxed. And change feet. Watch that heel. Allow your ribs to come round into line with your pelvis. Think about breathing into your ribs, feeling them expand with each inhale. And now arrange your bolster, ready for our floor angels. You want to bolster yourself so you're feeling a little bit of your abdomen coming into a firing position, so that it feels as though you've got a little corset coming around your stomach. And just bring your arms out to the side at shoulder length. at shoulder height. And just rest here for a little while, just feeling that stretch in the front of your chest. And just take your arms up and down like the hands of a clock. Is there a point where your hands come off the floor? Just notice, just be curious. And just take them to the point where they're just starting to pop off the floor. And just rest here. Just relaxing and releasing and allowing the tension in your chest and your back to just release so your arms can reach to the ground. Can you take that stretch just a little bit further up? Just a tiny bit. If not, don't worry. And get your half done. We'll go for the log lift. Okay, we can bring some candles breathing in here now as we're lifting the log. Let's feel your range of motion. So just before you lift the log, take a breath in and then blow the breath out through your mouth. And as you feel that corseting across your stomach, that's when you lift the log up. So your stomach's engaging. You're starting to use your stomach muscles as you're lifting your half dome up. So inhale, and as you exhale and feel your stomach muscles tightening, that's when you bring the log lift up. At the same time as your abdominal muscles are firing, your pelvic floor is firing. Just take the exercise in your own time. Okay, so come on to your hands and knees now. And make sure that your knees are below your hips, your hands below your shoulders. Untuck your pelvis. We're going to do our rhomboid push-ups. So you're going to push your hands into the ground so that your shoulder blades are as far apart on your back as you can get. And then as you say push, they come apart. And then as you release them down, they should come together. So the movement is just between your shoulders, just around your thoracic spine. Let's make sure your pelvis is untucked, so your coccyx, your tailbone is tucking out. So come down onto your forearms. Bring your left arm underneath your right for our thread the needle stretch. So you're feeling that stretch in between your shoulders. Make sure your pelvis is not dipped down on one side, but it's nice and straight. And swap hands. Just watch your pelvis. Your pelvis needs to stay stable in this exercise. Make sure it's not dropping down and going with your left hand as you bring your left hand underneath your right. And just come down into a thoracic stretch. So you're just pushing backwards, bringing your bottom back towards the end of the mat. Not resting it on your feet, but just stretching backwards, and you should feel the stretch in your shoulders. Now tuck your toes as you do this stretch. Just get a little bit of stretch in your feet there as well. Okay, and bring yourself down for a psoas release now. That's the end. Take some time to rest and relax.